Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And being that it is so late today already, I thought I would read two meditations. Well, actually, a meditation from Nightlight by Amy Dean, which is one of my all-time favorite meditation books. And it's kind of an end-of-the-day meditation. And then I also thought we would read one of the readings from A Mindful Evening by David Dillard Wright, PhD. Complete each day with a calm mind and open heart. And so maybe this would just be a good way for us to end the day and kind of think about what the day has been like. I've had a great day today, even though it has been gray and kind of sad looking outside. I have actually been very happy. I finished an audiobook. I've been listening to another. I've been listening to The Secret. I'm trying to finish The Secret. I actually haven't talked about the Peterisms books for the month yet, have I? So, the two books for the month that I carried over from December were the Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield, which I finished, I think 2 days ago. I finished that, so I will be doing a review over here, and not so much like a book review as it will be just kind of like talking about what I learned from it and what I thought about it. And then the other one that I'm reading is The Secret. So I'm currently listening to that on Audible right now. I've read it before, so it's a reread. And then the book for February that we are reading, all of us together, or I'm reading it. I don't know if even one more person. Is anybody else out there? Put it in the comment section if you guys are doing the books with me. It's called Make Your Bed. I don't remember who the author is, but February 1st, I will put it below, and I will also show it on here, because I have a physical copy of it. I think I bought it at Meijer or Walmart or someplace. So anyway, I'm really enjoying reading those. It's really helping me kind of stay focused on reading at least one motivational book a month. I have tons of ideas for books that I want to read this year. The other thing I will tell you that I'm doing, and I'm actually going to head to the store later and do this and get this, is that I want to get a notebook, a nice notebook, specific. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I just weeded out this notebook that I had. I was keeping like goals and stuff for 2019 in it, and I just like went through and like took out all the pages that I had used in there. It's kind of this cork board on the front of it. I love it. But I think I'm going to use that one actually for keeping, like, when I read like when I read the 4 agreements, and then writing down in there like what the 4 agreements are, and then, you know, reading the Celestine Prophecy and writing down like the 9 insights and things I learned from the book, and then as I'm reading like The Secret, you know, keep components of The Secret and things to think about, so that way when I'm going, you know, through the year, I can look back on this book and I don't have to bring the books out. I can just look at this notebook and see the key components of the things that I've learned from reading each book. And for me, I think that's kind of a dumbed down way of like studying for the test of life, if that makes sense, you know? So anyway, because I was thinking about the 4 agreements the other day, and I was like, what were the 4? I mean, like, I remember them kind of like in concept, but I don't remember exactly what they were and how they were said. So that's why I thought, like, if I had it in a notebook, then I could also read them on a daily basis or a, you know, somewhat regular basis, and then they would be more implanted into what I am doing. So that's another plan that I have for 2020. I'm actually going to start that tonight, I think. All right, let's read the meditation from Nightlight, a book of nighttime meditations by Amy Dean. And this is from Hazelden Meditations. Hazelden at one point was kind of the hub of recovery in the United States. It's a treatment program in Minnesota. But if you get on the Hazelden website, they have amazing, and tons of it too, amazing literature to do with recovery and recovery from all kinds of things. They also have tons of these meditation books on there. I need to get on there and maybe order some new ones. So I'll get on there and see what new ones they have. Okay, January 29th. Is today the 30th or the 29th? I think today's the 30th. Go to tomorrow. January 30th. So long as we believe we are only human, we are going to experience pain, suffering, tears, disease, and death. Donald Curtis. This is already sounding kind of like a depressing meditation, isn't it? Imagine what our lives would be like without negative feelings. Fear, worry, anxiety, selfishness, tension, sadness. At first we might feel a great sense of release, but what will we replace those feelings with? What will we feel? Can it be possible to feel happy and joyous and free all the time? It has been said we experience what we believe in. Do we believe to succeed in this world we have to suffer? We might even believe our sufferings are good. If I hadn't been hurting so bad, I would never have made that change. We can try to release the power hold over negative ties, powerful hold our negative ties have on our lives. We can replace those negative ties with warm and loving thoughts, a kind and forgiving nature, and an ability to see good instead of bad. Life doesn't have to be a struggle. We don't have to suffer to be happy. I can turn over worries, jealousy, fearfulness, and dissatisfactions and look at the other side of living. It is filled with serenity, hope, and light. I like that meditation. You know, I am such a believer in that life is bittersweet, you know, that it is the bitter and the sweet, that there's going to be, you know, positive and negative, you know, in our lives, and that I think it's kind of a balancing act between the two. I have to say, though, that one of the things that is a constant in all of these motivational, inspirational books that I've read, the Four Agreements, the Celestine Prophecy, The Secret, is this idea of love as an energy source. And I really, really like that, you know? And I think it's made me think a lot about the loving that we do of ourselves, like, you know, self-love and taking care of ourselves, and you know, do you really love yourself? And you know, at the end of my vlogs every single day, I look at, you know, I say look in the mirror every single day and do your daily affirmations, you know, say I love you, you are valuable, you are important, you matter, today is going to be a great day, 2020 is going to be your year. But I believe that, and I was thinking about that today as I was listening to The Secret, you know, that we bring these things into our lives, you know, that we attract what, you know, we are saying or thinking or believing. And so if we speak with the language of love, love is going to be spoken back to us. I really truly believe that. You know, I'm a big believer in it, like karmic energy and things like that. I don't necessarily think it works the way that we think it does. And so I was talking to a friend about this the other day, and they're like, well, what do you mean that you believe in it? And I said, you know, I think it's kind of like this. Like, you know, there's this whole idea that if you put out negativity, negativity is going to come back to you. But I think it's kind of like this. If you're thinking negatively a lot, you're probably going to continue to, like, multiply those thoughts negatively, right? But if you think positively a lot, positivity is going to come back to you, right? It's just like this. If you're around a lot of people, this is why it's important to choose who we have in our life. This is why it's important to rid our lives of chaos and toxicity and only allow positive light in, right? Because, I mean, if you're surrounding yourself with negative people that are constantly like so sarcastic and pessimistic about life, and they're just negative, your attitude is going to be the same. If you are surrounded by people that are hopeful and successful and dreamers and creative, and they're like, oh my God, and life is so wonderful, and they see things that way, right? Not to say they don't get down from time to time, but, you know, if they typically see things from an optimistic point of view, chances are you're going to be the same way as well. So I think it's important for us to surround ourselves with people that are positive, to surround ourselves with positive energy, to play happy music, to play thoughtful music, you know. The other day I was real down, I just was having a day, and it was like I missed pee-pee so bad, and you know, I was just like, it just was not a good day. And so I got in my car, and I was listening to some Kool and the Gang, because I love Kool and the Gang, and I just, all of a sudden, like, my attitude turned around, you know? It was like I was dancing in the car, and I was happy, and then I also started thinking, like, happy thoughts about, you know, the times that I had spent with Pee-Pee. It was, like, not about what I missed. It wasn't about, you know, the fact that he wasn't here anymore, and that my life had changed, which is, you know, sad, and I do feel that way. But it was about these funny times that we had had together, you know, where, like, I would turn on music in the house, and I would dance with the dogs and stuff like that, you know? So it completely turned my energy around. I think we have the ability every single day to, you know, change how we're feeling, you know? And I do believe that we can start our day over. That's something I believe for quite some time, you know? That if you don't like how you're feeling, start your day over. And just really think it into existence and say, I'm just not going to allow my day to continue to be this negative, you know? Yeah, like, this is horrible. That these things happened, or maybe I'm in self-pity over something trivial that happened, but I have the ability to respond to it the way that I want to, and today I'm going to respond to it positively. So I think it's an important, you know, idea that we incorporate into our lives, that we have the ability to change our day anytime that we want. I really, really like that meditation. That was good. Okay, are you ready? I always go to the same page, you guys. Okay. Okay, that was the intro. I just want to read something that's, let's see, I'm just going to go through here. Speak kindly to yourself. I need to start marking these because I need to make sure that I'm not like rereading ones. Okay. Children often possess gifts which they lose as they grow up. With the years, we seem to enter into a prison of conventions and opinions, concealments, and unquestioned acceptance. And there we lose the candor of childhood. The child still reacts spontaneously to the spontaneity of life. Karl Jaspers, German philosopher. Is this 2 pages or just one? Let's see. Just one. Living a compassionate life does not only apply to caring for other people, it also means self-compassion. True, the Hindu and Buddhist traditions view the self, understood as a personality or ego, to be an illusion. The difference is between the traditions have sometimes been overstated. But one can still cause suffering through mental violence. It is as though we make a piñata out of the elements of consciousness and then proceed to beat that piñata with a stick of criticism. One can diffuse this dynamic by seeing through the ego, dismantling the piñata, or refraining from inward criticism, putting down the stick. This evening, watch the way you talk to yourself. Speak kindly to yourself and utter not a single harsh word, not even in your head. If you must talk to yourself inwardly, say only kind, encouraging things, as though you wanted to be a good friend or coach to yourself. Say things like, you really did a great job on that presentation today, or you are such a good and caring person. This might feel strange, but continue with the practice anyway. See if you do not experience a better mood over time. I love that. You know, in talking about positive affirmations, and that's about just, you know, affirming the positive is basically what that means, you know. There was this counselor that I worked with back in the day, and she used to do a lot of positive affirmations. And one of the things that she would do is she would have, like, people write down the affirmations that they knew to be true, like things that they could look in the mirror and say to themselves. And often, they couldn't say any at all. They couldn't, I mean, not even one, right? Little Tucker is over there staring. They couldn't even come up with one, right? So, you know, she would say to them, well, what are things that you wish were true? Or she would help them because they couldn't even come up with things they wish were true. And so, you know, she would make them come up with a list, and it would be things like, you know, like, for me, like, I am a good son, I am a good, you know, friend, I'm a good husband, I'm a good dog dad, I'm a good, you know, I don't know, I'm funny, I'm good looking, I love myself, today's going to be a good day, this is going to be a great year, good things are going to happen to me. All these positive things, right? And then she had them make post-it notes and put them on their mirror. And then they would have to each day go over and like read them. And it's such a powerful thing, because if there are things about yourself that you want to believe but you don't believe to be true, look at yourself in the mirror and try to say them. It's really, really difficult because you feel like you're trying to fool yourself. But over time, you start to believe those things, you know? I've said this so many times in my videos. It's like in Pretty Woman when he says you're beautiful and she says the bad stuff is easier to believe. When somebody tells you something bad about yourself over a long period of time, you start to believe it. Or somebody tells you something long enough, you start to believe it. And I believe that to be true. I believe that, I think that we believe the things that are, it's easier, you know, have you ever had somebody like say to you, all this crap, right? And you feed into it so easily, but then and maybe it's just how like a lot of us are programmed in this world that we're more used to the negative than the positive. But then somebody says something positive to you, like, you know, oh, you're really funny, or, you know, like, oh, you're good looking, or, you know, you're so nice, or whatever. It's like, it's almost kind of like nails on the chalkboard. It's like you can't hear it almost. It's so difficult to hear it because it's just so uncommon, right? It's training our brain to believe those things. It's training our brain to flip the switch, right? To change the tape in our head. That we deserve good things, that we are good people. Okay, but that starts with us. We have to start talking kindly to ourselves. We have to love ourselves. And nobody's gonna love you unless you love yourself first. I'm sure you guys have heard that. That's not a new concept, right? So we have to start practicing that. We have to practice that we love ourselves first, right? The most. We have to practice that. And I think that starts with doing these positive affirmations, self-talk throughout the day, you know, like you can do this, you're good, you know. Studies have shown when you go into tests, like with students that go into tests, that if you, if you negatively talk in your head, you do worse on a test. If you positively talk in your head about yourself, you'll do better on your test. It depends on your attitude going into it. You know, it's like those posters back in the day. Did you ever see those posters in classrooms that would say like, life is 10% of what happened to us, or of what happens to us, and 90% attitude. And it's true. It's like so true, you know? So anyway, I think that the lesson from all of this is that we need to start talking kinder to ourselves. We need to be better to ourselves. We need to treat ourselves like we would want somebody to treat us. We need to treat ourselves like we treat others in a loving fashion if we do. And if we don't, we need to take a look at that. And the reality is we should probably be treating ourselves the best out of everybody so that way we can give that same energy back to others. I always say to people, okay, when people want to tell me about like they take all this care about other people, or they're, you know, they're like, I know, but like, you know, I have my grandma and my mom and my dad and my 2 siblings and my husband and my 4 kids. How do I ever find time for myself? If you don't, it's pointless, because you can't give to other people what you don't have for yourself. You must first take care of yourself in some small way. And if you can't figure it out, you better figure it out, okay? Because if you are gone, the rest of them are screwed, because they need you. They depend upon you, see? Like, you're their life force. So you got to take care of yourself. You got to make sure that you're getting a little bit of a bath, or listening to some music that's making you dance, or doing something that's enlightening your day or inspiring you on a daily basis, you know? So anyway, I love you guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below about the meditation if you liked it. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.